Welcome to Diggin Ag on Air. I am so happy that you are here. If you haven't seen some of my posts, my name is Haven Cash, and I am currently serving as the Illinois Association FFA Section 23 president, and I also serve as the chapter president here in Louisville over the North Clay FFA chapter. The entire reason that I picked up the confidence to start my own podcast is due to my time spent on the Cardinal Chirp podcast. That's through my high school broadcasting class. And I was fortunate enough to have my own segment on there called the North Clay Agcast. So that is where I highlight my FFA chapter and all of our happenings, all of our trips, everything that we get to experience. I'm super excited to branch out further through my own personal podcast show. But there's actually a completely different opportunity that introduced me into ag communications that I'm about to share more about. When trying to think of who to feature in my first episode, I thought, what better way than to recognize the members in the position that completely started me on my ag communications journey. And that is our current FFA and the USA reporters. So I'm super excited to introduce you into some talented and creative members. So let's get right into it. Welcome, Shiloh. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Shiloh Beatles. I am from the Country Roads FFA in Section 23.
Yes, so I am super excited that you're able to join me today, and I cannot wait to hear how your perspective has been so far on your year as a National FFA and USA reporter. But before we get there, how do you feel being the very first guest on the podcast?
For me, this is very exciting. I'm excited that I get to be the first guest, but not only that, on something brand new, so I can just see it from the start and watch it grow.
I'm super excited to have you. So what made you decide to apply to be an FFA and USA reporter this year?
So last year I had a friend within the program, and he just told me all about it and how exciting and fun it was. And then this year when we had the officer elections, I ran for reporter and I got it, and I was like, I want to do this program. And I was able to get in the program and do it, and just since then it's been super fun and exciting and just really interactive.
Yeah. I remember when my advisor approached me about it, and it was brand new, which from that standpoint, I didn't necessarily know that it was brand new. It was just something that I had never heard of before. And so when she talked to me about it, I had just been recently elected as our chapter reporter. And she was like, this sounds like a great opportunity for you, something that you would be interested in. And I was like, yeah, it sounds really cool. And it's like a national level position. Like, that's awesome. So I went off on a limb and I applied for it. And it took, I think, a few weeks. And then I got the email that I was accepted. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so cool. It's amazing. But little did I know like how much of an impact it would have on me. And it's just been such a blessing to be able to. My favorite part about it all was getting to experience everything at National Convention and getting to see like the press box and getting our letter from Morgan Anderson and all of that. And it's just super cool. So I also read your first story, and I thought it was so amazing. And I loved the whole mission behind it and talking about what it means to live to serve and the FFA motto. So could you kind of sum that up for the viewers and explain why you wrote about what you did?
Right. So I wrote about a local man. His name is James Ankenbrand, and I've known James since I was little. He used to work with my dad. And so me and James have a really close connection. But outside of that, James is also really active within the Country Roads FFA chapter. And the Country Roads FFA, we are the first homeschooled organization in the entire United States, which is a really big accomplishment for us. But with having that big accomplishment, we also need funding. And we don't get school funding. So having James help us find sponsors and people just willing to donate. James himself has donated. His kids are a part of the program. He's just been a really helpful hand. He also helps out with other things like the National Corn Growers Banquet, which we did just have back in November, I do believe. He had found us some farmers that would plant our corn for us, and he was just always a helping hand.
Yeah, I love the whole thought about helping someone in the community and just talking about things like that. I remember I did an article over something very similar. But was that like your guys' prompt for your first article was living to serve?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, because I thought I saw a few more that were kind of similar, but I just love that. And especially starting off your year on something that is so worthy of that appreciation. It's just awesome. Shiloh, what advice would you give to your fellow reporters or someone interested that in applying for the program next year?
For someone who's wanting to apply next year, I would just tell them I'd say I'd go for it. I've loved the program so far. I think it's a really good opportunity to get involved and just see what all actually goes on behind the scenes. So really just pushing somebody for it or pushing somebody out of their comfort zone if they're already in it, I think would be a good experience.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything you just said. And I know that you're only just now halfway through your year so far as a reporter, but have you made any new friends or met any super cool people so far?
So this year, the Country Roads FFA did not attend National Convention, which I was kind of bummed about, but it's okay. So I missed out on the opportunity of meeting the national reporters, like people all around the world. But that is okay because I still know some of the local ones and the local ones from last year.
Yeah, so I met some super cool people my year as a National FFA News reporter, and two of which now are section presidents alongside me. So that's Section 8 president and Section 4 president. They're both awesome people. And I'm super grateful that I got to meet them before our year as section president. I just think that's super neat. And another one that I met is a section officer alongside me this year who I'm excited to bring on as our next guest. So thank you, Shiloh, for your time as always. It is amazing to hear from somebody in such an admired program such as the National FFA and the USA Reporters. So again, thank you so much. Welcome, Savannah. As I mentioned previously, this is Savannah's cycle. So she is our Section 23 treasurer this year. Savannah, could you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Savannah Cycle. I am from the only FFA chapter in Section 23, where I serve as the Section 23 treasurer, like Haven said, and I also serve as one of the only FFA chapter reporters.
Yeah, so something that I think is awesome about you, Savannah, is you are a returning FFA News reporter. So we were able to serve alongside each other, and now you're able to meet some new people as the program has grown so much. So, what really made you want to reapply for the program this year?
What made me want to reapply was I have a love for writing, and I felt like the job wasn't done, that there were still more things to showcase and more amazing people who were worth showcasing. So that was one thing that really drew me to reapply. And also, my experiences of it last year were just insane, and the opportunities that were provided were just incredible. And I knew that it was something I wasn't quite ready to give up yet.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great reason. I agree with that. So do you think that the program still holds a lot of quality, even though it's you're doing the same thing another year in a row?
Yes, I do believe it holds a good quality. That's, I mean, a good question. I mean, lots of us, I think, had to figure that out as second year reporters or thinking about reapplying. But I think just, again, there's so many people that are doing such amazing things within our agriculture space. And I think that it is so important to showcase as many people as possible. And also, I think that, with that, it's also a bunch of new people I have gotten to meet. Last year we had six or around that number. And then this year we have about 16 Illinois FFA and the USA reporters. So the opportunity to meet so many new people has been incredible. And I just think it is a program that you can keep doing forever and it's not going to be the same at all. I did 10 stories last year. I have done two completely different ones this year. So showcasing different people and different things and different opportunities is something that I think holds a lot of value.
Yeah, I think it's really a program that it is what you make it. And I know that the six of us became pretty like close. Like we met each other and like we got to know each other pretty well. And I was definitely not expecting that going into it. I just thought it was kind of be like an on your own thing. But then going to national convention and getting to see each other and then seeing each other at state convention, getting to bear flags with each other. It was just a really neat experience. And yeah, I know that the program has grown so much this year. So that's even more people that you can network with and get to meet to help you along with your future journey as well. And I also know that you mentioned that one of your articles last year had made it into the fall edition of the New Horizons magazine. So, can you talk about how that came about or how that happened?
Well, this was like something like I didn't even think about, because you're just sitting here writing and it's like, oh, it's fun, but I never thought it'd be in like a publication and like sent out to everybody. But I mean, how it kind of happened is I wrote this article about an amazing event the All FFA chapter does every year to welcome new green hands and new members into our chapter. It's called the Back to School Bash. every person in the On the FFA chapter will tell you it is a blast. We play a bunch of games and we have like a giant water balloon fight at the end. And we had about 98 people attend that, and that's about half our membership. So we have a pretty large membership in our chapter. And I just wrote about that story, and there was something about it, and I submitted it as you do every other story. And you never really know what's going to be like, what they're going to love and what they're going to take and really use. So I never expected anything. And then I got an email from Julie one day, amazing coordinator of our program. She's great, love her, love everyone at the National FFA. But she was like, hey, like, can I use this in our social medias? And I was like, sure, why not? So then, I did that. And then after that, like, I just saw the publication was coming out and I was like, oh, it's about events. Like, I'll just look through it, right? And then I looked through it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's my name, like that's my story. And I was like, and then I sent it to my friends and I sent it to my advisors. They were like, wait, like, is this real? I'm like, I have no clue. So then like I got it in and I was like, oh wait, like it's actually in like print. It was so insane. Like I never thought that would happen because I live in the middle of a cornfield. So I was like, nothing is ever gonna happen of that. So
That's so cool. So you just like they didn't even like ask you or like tell you, you just like it was just there and it just appeared?
yeah, I mean, I think, once you submit it, it's theirs. Like,
Yeah.
my name's on it, but everyone kind of like wants that. So they took hold of it, took reins of it, and I saw it and I was like, wow, this is insane, but really good surprise.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So I'm curious, is that article your favorite or do you have another favorite that you've done over the 2 years that you've been a reporter?
Ugh, that one was really fun. That one was I don't even know. I did it and then I had it written for a while and I was like fine tuning it a little bit. But my favorite was probably the one I did over Mr. Stieber. He was our ag teacher for 34 years. He is an insane mentor. He's an amazing human being. And he was retiring and I was like, you know what, I should do this. So I sent emails to 10 of his past students or like mentors, like people he had mentored, all that good stuff. And I sent those out and I got quotes back and I compiled all of those into an article to kind of commemorate his years of service and to thank him. And I also made a slideshow of that for our banquet. So that also played with a bunch of pictures at our chapter banquet. And I was bawling, everyone was bawling, but it was like a very sentimental one that'll always stick out to me in my heart for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's just something to see someone like young like you highlighting someone that's dedicated so much time and so many things to the community to build it to what it is today. So that's just awesome. And then circling back to this year and this year only, I saw that you published an article called Crazy About Conservation, highlighting a fellow FFA member of yours. So could you touch on that story a little bit and explain why you wrote about what you did?
Yeah, so our prompt for that month was someone who is living to serve, helping the community. And I have my best friend, Carter Bergner. He works at a zoo in Evansville, Indiana, called Metzger Park Zoo. And he is so passionate about it. And it is so cool to see him like thrive. And like he'll just spit out random animal facts. And you will see those throughout the article as well, because he is such an animal guru. It's insane. And I was like, you know what? He's serving a community, not just for himself, but also for the betterment of everybody. And it's insane. And I was like, you know what, Carter, like, let's make this article happen. And started writing it. And I've been friends with him since first grade. So our moms were like crying over it. Like, it was so amazing to see the impact it had. And he's just an amazing person. So, and I know he loves what he does. So that also helped a lot that he's passionate about it. And that made it really easy for me to write because he was just like, you can just tell, like, his eyes just glow up when you talk about zoos and animals. So it was really cool for that one for sure.
Yeah, and it's just something so unique. It's not every day that you find somebody that works at a zoo who like goes to high school in Southern Illinois. It's just not something you hear about very often. So it was something super cool to learn about. And like I never knew that he worked at a zoo in Indiana. Like
Yeah, he's quite the guy.
yeah.
It's like if you ever talk to him, ask him about his animals, he will tell you about every animal at Mesker Park Zoo, what they do, and it's really insane for him to see him thrive in that world.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's awesome. Um, so do you have any ideas on topics that you want to write about this year going forward?
Well, I just had a second article published recently about Miss Miller. who is our new ag teacher at Richland County, Miss Lexi Miller. She was the 2020-2021 Illinois Association FFA president. So I kind of talked about her journey from being the president of the Illinois Association FFA to becoming a classroom teacher. And that was super cool to see because, she's new to our school and we've obviously talked to her a lot, but it's cool to see kind of how her journey has progressed. And she's, she's fresh out of college, so it's really cool to see her experiences and see how that happened. Also events I want to cover. I want to cover more like physical community involvement events throughout Southern Illinois. I think those are very impactful. Similar to the Back to School Bash that's impacting our chapter, our community. I want to cover more events that are, really impacting local communities and people who are doing amazing things at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And talking about Miss Miller, she's just such a kind human.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember during chapter visits when she had to go outside and shake hands with every single one of her students as they entered the classroom and letting us join in on that too. That was super cool to see.
Yeah,
it's a lost art, handshaking, honestly. It kind of is.
She is one of the most genuine people ever. Like, she is so authentic, and it's something that I admire about her truly. She's an amazing role model, and I know lots of people would call her that as well. Her strong faith, how she treats everyone with kindness, how she's just always smiling, and she loves what she does, and you can tell. I think that helps everything. She loves being an ag teacher, and she says that she's like, I love my job, I love what I do. Like, she truly like thrives in the classroom, and her time at the with being the president of our Illinois FFA Association really helped her because she thinks of herself as a facilitator, not as much as a teacher. Her job is to inform you with the information, not as much to tell you, but for us to work through it together. And that is something that I think is so impressive about her, is that she just protrudes this love for her, like for her faith, for her community, for agriculture, and it's really impressive.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah. I 100% agree with everything that you said. You can tell that she loves what she does 100%. She's just so passionate about it, even for the short amount of time that I was at your school with her.
Yeah.
It was so made so apparent to me, and it's just awesome to see that in somebody. And then I think a good topic that we can end on is, what advice would you give to someone maybe interested in applying to be an FFA and USA reporter next year?
Well, this is a good question. I would just say go for it. I would say don't be scared, shoot for the stars. The worst that can happen is they say no. And I just think it's so important what we are able to do. And it is an opportunity that I would recommend everybody taking advantage of because it is insane. Like, you're able to like basically be an author. And that is like something that I think is so impactful. I would also say just like don't be afraid. I know we've talked about this a lot. It's literally just about going after it, and if you want it, apply. Like, it's the application isn't too tedious, it's pretty simple, and at the end of the day they want you to succeed, and everyone is here to help you. And lean on your fellow reporters, lean on your advisors who are helping you. I think that's super important as well, is to have those mentors and have this space to be able to feel like you can make mistakes and create better articles and just highlight people who are doing amazing things in our space at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's great for anyone to hear. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you for your time spent with me here today and sharing your experience to those who are seeking it. So thank you for your time, as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Haven. I love what you're doing here. I'm so excited to see where this goes.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. So, Olivia, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Of course. My name is Olivia Quatermas. I'm a sophomore at Vienna High School, and I'm a part of the Vienna FFA chapter, and I currently serve as the chapter secretary, and I'm a National FFA and the USA reporter this year.
Yeah, Olivia, I am glad you were able to join me today, and I'm looking forward to hearing how your year as a National FFA and the USA reporter has been so far. But let's look back in the past, and what was the deciding factor when it came to applying to be an FFA and the USA reporter?
So really what inspired me was I served on the press corps team at state convention this summer, and I really loved like the media aspects of it. I thought it was super cool. And right after state convention is when I saw the applications for FFA and the USA reporter go out. I think I saw it on their Instagram page, actually, and I clicked on it, and I was like, oh, this seems cool. I'll check it out. And I read it, and it seemed like the coolest experience I could do within my FFA. So I applied, and then in September, they let me know that I had made it on the team.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's been your favorite part of being a reporter so far?
My favorite part has definitely been getting to talk to the different people that I've interviewed for stories and hear about their own FFA experiences and seeing how they are the same and different from mine.
Yeah, I really love just getting to, not only for my experience, but the people that I interviewed and writing their stories at the national level. It was cool for both of us to see that happen. And okay, so I've read your stories that you've written so far, and I know the first one you published was about El Dorado FFA
Yes.
and their vegetable project. So could you touch on that story a little bit and how you got in contact with the chapter?
So that one kind of came about because our prompt was living to serve that month. So I wanted to touch on a service project within my section, section 25. And I reached out to our section president, Kevin Morris, and he said that his chapter, the El Dorado chapter, was actually doing a living to serve thing and they had just finished it. So I reached out to him and talked to him more about that and got some information from him. And that's how that story came to be.
Yeah, I thought it was a great story. You did a great job.
Thank you.
And then your second article was about Sydney and her success story in public speaking.
Yes.
I loved it, and I especially loved that the focus was on kind of helping others with the tips that were included. So can you explain the story behind writing that article and all that went in behind the scenes?
So Sydney and I met each other last year before we knew that we were both in FFA. We did competition speaking together at our respective high schools, and we met each other through a shared events. We both did impromptu speaking last year, and she helped me out because I was a freshman coming in, brand new to speech, and she had competed in impromptu and done significantly well with it. And she was helping me out a little bit in the beginning, and then we figured out that we were both in FFA. And she asked, oh, do you do FFA speaking? And I said, yeah, and I was doing Creed speaking. Coincidentally, she had also won Creed speaking her freshman year, so she helped me out tremendously through my Creed speaking journey. And we kind of strengthened our bond through FFA, and it was really great getting to be able to talk to her because I know how great of a speaker she is in our competition speaking. She's extremely successful, has gone to state multiple times, and it was really cool to get to combine the two things that we have in common to create one story that was published for FFA.
Yes, that's awesome. That's an awesome story. And then your most recent article was the best by far. Joking, they're all great, but I feel like I need to have you talk about it as well so you can sum it up for the audience.
Yes, for the audience, I did a report on our lovely podcast host, Miss Haven, and I got to talk to you about how your experience in the National FFA and the USA Reporter Program has impacted your FFA journey to this day because you served last year. And I thought it was so awesome, and it was the first of its kind considering FFA in the USA has only been going on for 2 years. And I thought it was really unique that I got the opportunity to interview somebody who had been in the program already and give their point of view. I thought it was super neat, and I loved reading your stories. I went back after I made the program and I read through like all of them, and I thought they were fantastic.
Oh my gosh, I feel honored.
And I wanted to bring a perspective that a lot of the FFA and the USA reporters currently hadn't seen before because this is such a new experience to us. So I wanted to bring that to show how it impacts you even after you hang up your time in the reporter.
Yeah, I was so excited that you had reached out to me, and it makes me feel amazing that somebody's still reading my articles and they're not just sitting there.
I thought they were great. I loved them.
Thank you. But like I said previously, I do love all of your article topics that you've had so far. And I think they each outline a great purpose. Do you have any other ideas on topics that you know you want to write about this year?
I do know that I want to write about something with our state officers, and I have reached out to them. It's kind of pending because they're at a pretty busy time of year right now. And I wanted to reach out to them and kind of talk to them about their journeys to becoming state officers. So kind of a behind the scenes of what it means to be a higher up leadership representative like they are.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and I'm sure each one of them has a completely unique story to share. So I think that's a great idea. And then the last question that I have for you, Olivia, is what advice would you give to your fellow reporters or maybe someone that is looking to run next year? What advice would you give them?
I would definitely give them the advice to just go out and try it, because I know that seems like something that's pretty straightforward, like just do it. I know, but that can be a struggle for a lot of people. And if I hadn't just applied, and I didn't think my application was very good, and that can be a barrier for a lot of people. If I hadn't just applied, I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am now. I've gotten published in the Illinois Farm Week newspaper because of my time in being a National FFA and the USA reporter. It's taken me to new heights, and it's helped me grow my writing ability and taught me to be a better communicator, because I have to be able to communicate effectively to write a good story. So I think that the biggest piece of advice I could give to people that might want to be in this program next year is just apply, just do it, and you will not regret it no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. That's all wonderful advice, Olivia. Thank you so much for your time today. It is greatly appreciated, and I'm so glad that you were able to join me. Yeah, so each of the three girls had amazing advice to give on the program, or whether you're thinking you're applying to it. They had great words of wisdom to share with you, and I can't really think of anything that could top it. But I would definitely say just try, just go for it, because you never know what the outcome could be, but you know what the outcome is going to be if you don't apply. If you're too scared to apply, you don't think you're good enough, whatever, you know what the outcome is going to be. You're not going to be able to experience that amazing opportunity. So at least try, get your name out there. And if you have any questions, I know that I myself, and I could almost promise you that the three girls would not mind if you reached out with any questions or concerns when you're applying for next year's program. And I know all of us would probably say the same thing. You have to do it. Even if you're thinking of it the slides bit, you have to do it. It is so fun and amazing experience. And sometimes I wish I would have done it again, but here I am, and now I get to talk to these amazing people that are in the program, and I love it so much. But hopefully the program continues to grow and receives more interest each and every year. And it's just awesome to see how passionate these members are with all that they're doing with their articles. It's just truly inspiring and amazing. I also just want to give a huge shout out to James Ankenbrand, who works at FS and is always willing to help out or help secure grant money for a local FFA chapter, Country Roads. It is a homeschool-based FFA chapter, and he has spent so much time dedicating, lending a helping hand to them. So just thank you, Mr. Ankenbrand, for your support of the FFA. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to Diggin Ag on Air.